tragic accident along the Harare-Chirundu highway, an event which has since been declared a national disaster. We join the bereaved families at this dark hour as they come to terms with this tragic occurrence, coming so soon after a similar mishap barely 3 months ago near Mvuma. I wish the injured a speedy recovery. It is now my honor and privilege to speak on this auspicious occasion, marking the Parliament of Zimbabwe's Open Day Symposium, which is running concurrently with other events as we celebrate 37 years of independence and democracy. The topic, Parliament's transition and transformation from a colonial to a democratic institution, a personal reflection, is apt as it resonates with the constitutional and legislative developments that our young but flourishing constitutional democracy has undergone for close to 4 decades. Allow me at the outset to express my profound gratitude to the presiding officers of Parliament and the Parliament administration at large, who have worked hard to host this historic symposium. We commend the various initiatives which have focused on bringing Parliament closer to the people, which in turn are a positive response to our progressive charter, particularly Section 141 of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, that obligates Parliament to facilitate public involvement in its legislative and other processes. I thus exhort the administration to make this event a more frequent feature in the calendar of Parliament. The transition and transformation of Parliament from a colonial to a democratic institution was a revolutionary and a public narrative of the masses for a collective cause and the common good of the majority. It was a long, odious, and rough journey, punctuated with blood, toil, tears, and sweat. The need for radical transformation of the legislative organ from an oppressive white settler government was indeed one of the major reasons the protracted liberation struggle was waged. To this end, the white settler parliament was located at the center of disempowering the black majority of this country through enacting racial and repressive laws. The history of Parliament of Zimbabwe dates back to 1898, which marked the commencement of the former colonial takeover of Zimbabwe by the British South Africa Company, BSAC, which was vested with legislative, administrative, and judicial powers, thus marking the commencement of formal law and its application on our sovereign territory. On the 20th of October, 1898, the Southern Rhodesia Order in Council was enacted, which inter alia provided for a legislative council. The legislative council had the power to enact laws for the peace, order, and the good governance of Southern Rhodesia as vested in the British Crown. Following the annexation of Southern Rhodesia in October 1923, a constitution was adopted in 1923 which established a legislative assembly consisting of 30 elected representatives of electoral districts. It also provided for the election of a speaker and a deputy speaker of the assembly. Such a development marked a vivid commencement of a formal parliament, a model which is still followed to this day. The 1923 Constitution was later revised in 1961. The 1961 Constitution conferred more powers of self-government on the territory of Southern Rhodesia, and it took into account the views, albeit on the basis of tokenism, of the African nationalists who sought to advance the political rights and the interests of the African people. On the 11th of November 1965, Ian Smith declared a unilateral declaration of independence, which we call UDI, which sought to free the territory from direct British control and establish a system of total self-governance. Although the Queen's government did not recognize Ian Smith's UDI, it remained in effect controlled as a de facto government, and by 1969, a new Republican Constitution was adopted, which introduced a bicameral legislature consisting of a House of Assembly and a Senate. The Senate was the upper house, constituting 23 senators. 10 were Europeans, a further 10 were African chiefs, and the 3 were persons appointed by a non-executive president. The House of Assembly of 1969 consisted of 66 members. 50 were Europeans and 16 were Africans. This was notwithstanding that the white settlers constituted less than 1% of the entire population of the then Southern Rhodesia. The above is clear testimony that the present-day Parliament can only be understood within the historical context of the constitutional and the political developments of the past. The pre-independence Parliament continued to enact oppressive laws which were applied disproportionately and only designed to oppress Africans. Citizens were classified into 3 categories, with the A row representing the whites who had the right to vote, B row constituted the coloreds who also had the right to vote, and all Africans being in the C row with no right to vote. The indigenous Africans in the C row could, however, be elevated into the B category upon attaining a prescribed level of education or increasing one's own wealth in terms of cattle and so on. During the same period, the age of majority which gave individuals the right to vote was 21 years. It is in light of these repressive and undemocratic measures that the masses were organized into a guerrilla movement that prosecuted the armed struggle in demand for majority rule and total independence and the right to universal suffrage, one man, one vote. This was realized following the Lancaster House Constitutional Conference in 1979, under which an election was held in 1980, resulting in black majority rule. The Lancaster House Constitution provided for a Westminster parliamentary system of government headed by a prime minister. The post-independence parliament maintained the 2 chambers of parliament, with the lower house having a total of 100 seats. It guaranteed the white minority 20 seats to preserve their interests. These were elected under the pre-independence A whites only role, which was entrenched in the Constitution for a period of 7 years. Meanwhile, the black majority held 80 seats under the bicameral legislature. Procedures, orders, and decorum of the Commonwealth parliamentary system continued as during the colonial period and gradually changed. When we began in 1980, our first speaker was Comrade Didmas Mtasa. He used to put on a wig, sitting there. We have since removed it. Armed with the majority representation, the new parliament The head of state was a ceremonial president, while government was led by an executive prime minister until 1987. Armed with majority representation, the new parliament was determined to transform the constitutional and legislative landscape of Zimbabwe's politics by legislating for the empowerment of the masses in a manner that would address the previously asymmetrical status quo that disadvantaged the majority Zimbabweans across the social, economic, and the political spectrum. Parliament has made major reforms which saw the introduction of a unicameral parliament, an executive president as the head of state, as well as laws which enabled changes in the judiciary. It also enacted laws which facilitated the integration of indigenous people into the administration of mainstream economic sectors and the public management of our country. In addition, Parliament championed policies meant to redress past imbalances and discrimination. These entailed passing laws in various sectors, thus impacting on the country's politics, governance, and above all, the economy. For example, regulating the legal age of majority, equal pay, right to maternity leave, review of labor laws, amongst other issues. A total of 19 constitutional amendments were effected on the Lancaster Constitution by 2009. Key among these were the amendments dealing with the land question, which could not be addressed during the first decade, 10 years of independence, due to the entrenched provisions of that constitution. After 1990, the Parliament amended the constitution and subsequently his product was my professor in constitutional law at university. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Advocate Jacob Francis Mdenda, President of the Senate, Honorable ED Mnagagwa, Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Mado Memory Chinomona, Deputy President of the Senate, Honorable Chenam Chadzoka Honorable Ministers present here, Honorable Members of Parliament present, esteemed members of the Diplomatic Corps, Clerk of Parliament, Mr. Kennedy Chokuda, our distinguished facilitators, Professor Rachel Achena,
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.